Hello everybody, this is Pete from PA Labs, and I'm doing the long-awaited, and I apologize for how long that's been, video that is the follow-up to the Scintilla stuff. This is using GOScintilla libraries or code modules, and no, that's not my code. I actually tracked into it on the Pure Basic archives. The OLD, still looking at some of this. Okay, here I do have the type ahead, the list of how many words you want to see and how quick it pops up for selecting what you're trying to type. And I have all of the call tips and all that stuff operational. I've given you a link to the GOScintilla direct library where you can actually find the original project. It is buried pretty deep in the Pure Basic archives. I've also gone through some of my bookmarks that I have for, this is just a few of them. I just grabbed them pretty quick here and threw 4 of them in for you to go review. These are other developers who have put their code out onto GitHub, and you can download it and go play with it and see how it works. And there's some pretty amazing code out there. So there's not a whole lot in my thinking that goes along with this project. So we do have a minor form that pops up, just one. I provided the forms for the find and replace functionality, but I've covered that in the other videos. That's not really a function here. The goal here was to bring stuff up with GOScintilla, and then to get that to get the call tips and all of that stuff working and show you how that works here and how things have to be restructured. Keywords, that kind of stuff all has to get restructured all together. So standard stuff, I've got jelly buttons, although I don't really think I use them except on the find and the replace. My static, yeah, I got some code in here, not much. I did try to comment it all pretty good for y'all. Starts with a callback for the Scintilla. So you have to have a callback in Scintilla so you can, it gives you the ability to, when I type the letter A, I want you to do this also. Or when I hit, like I messed around, I commented it all out. But you can come in here and say, okay, if I hit an equal sign, I want you to put some spaces after it automatically for me to where I don't have to say equal tab or space. Just automatically put it in and move the cursor out one. That kind of thing. So, I've commented all that code out. That's way out of scope for what this is. You can play with it on your own. So then we get down here to the window. One of the other functions of this example was to break the creation of the Lexer into a function. That way, if you want to build out a project that supports multiple Lexers, so you can have maybe a project object that says this is projects of Pure Basic, projects of HTML, projects of AutoIT, projects of Python, excuse me, and you can do that, and then each of your Lexers goes into its own subroutine that you call depending on what you're presenting to the users. Okay, so here is, we'll get to it in just a sec, but I went ahead, and let's go ahead and bring that up too. Hold on. The form, you guys kind of understand, I would assume, how I build things. So we have our main screen here, and this is a Scintilla object. Now, I'm not really using the Scintilla object, okay? it is being physically really recreated in the Lexer process. GOScintilla kicks back a Lexer object, okay? So what I do is put that placeholder on the screen, and then I come in here and do a free gadget on it, and now I have this little object here loaded up with the coordinates of where that was on my screen. So what this is doing, this is like a create of a Scintilla object, and I'm giving it its X, Y, W, H, and what else do we give it? We give it the reference to the callback. So you can actually have a different callback excuse me, for each individual Lexer that you have in language, which makes really good sense. So basically I throw that particular gadget here. This guy here is thrown out. It's trashed automatically. So with him gone, we now have a gadget called Gadget Scintilla that we're now going to play with. So I went ahead and built some just standard text junk. Actually, I copied it out of some other script, and then I dump it in here and say, okay, go SCI Scintilla set text, and these are all functions within the GOScintilla world, and they have functions to do absolutely everything you would ever want to do. Go review their code. It's well documented. The functions just work. So pretty much what you want, what we were doing on the Scintilla stuff, it's all here with a GOSCI underscore in front of it, and then you're operational. So then, okay, we show the window, we come into a standard loop, yada yada, and that's really it. Okay, I'm not really doing anything with that. The goal here was to show off the Lexer itself. So I do have the two modules of GOScintilla. We have the Lexer here, which contains absolutely everything there is to know about the pure basic Lexer, excuse me. Yeah, okay, this is just to declare for a function below. Okay, so we come in and we create a Scintilla object with these variables and callback and whatnot. These you will see are set margin width, the attributes setting colors, setting fonts. Coming down here, I went ahead and set the tabs to be 2, and you can shift click, double click these, and jump straight to the sections in the Scintilla object that identify how all that's working and all the comments. I built a back color, forecolor, and margin color variable. That way these can be really controlled. The idea would be that you would have a configuration screen that would set all this kind of stuff. And then down here, these, when we go to set the back color and whatnot, this is selection back color. I didn't go crazy and build everything. So you have the selection back color, the selection forecolor. In most cases, I've given you off to the side what actual color that is. You have the margin color and the margin back color, four colors. We start using these, and when you get to things like the individual fonts, like when you want to say a command, a language command, you might want that to be bolded. You may want to change the forecolor and leave the existing back color. The original code just left the back color null and just ignored it. And I kind of disagree with that. I want it stated. So we're using the back color. Every one of these you'll see back color. Here's the forecolor, setting the red, red. This, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You're messing with literal strings, numbers, constants, separators, numbers, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here's the first of the Keywords Calltip change. We're doing them all as data section parameters. So we're going to read in how many parameters we're messing with, and then we're going to read in the keyword and the call tip. Now, call tips have a specific format. So anyhow, we'll get to it in a minute, but understand this is the read through the entire section of keywords. So then once we get these lists built, we feed them into GOScintilla, and they're already sorted and all of that. And we then add the parameters that tells how the call tips work. He's looking for the open parenthesis as a start and close parenthesis. Now there's some kind of minor glitch. I'm not sure where. Oftentimes you have to hit the open parenthesis space and then it pops up with the call tip. If you don't hit that space, then the call tip doesn't show. Sometimes it just shows on the call tip. So sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. I guess that's like the old almond Mars. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Okay, so the call tip separators, we identify those here again. Isn't that fun? Let's see, we go define some more delimiters and that sort of thing. We have the keyword folding, begin a fold, end folds. So these are space delimited lists, and I think I have them all built in out here that you'd ever want to have. If you want to add some more, or I typoed something, I thought I had a macro. Yeah, see this one right here? He's supposed to be end macro. Okay, so fix that. All right. Let's see. We set our Lexer state. This is required for the call completion stuff. We set more widths and more other junk, and then finally we're done and we pass our gadget. Remember, this is our handle of our created new GOScintilla object back to the form inside the where was it? Let's see here. We jump back to you. So he comes in. We've opened up. Went the wrong way, didn't I? Okay, so we define. So he comes back here. So we are in the create and putting the form together for the viewer to see, and it's hidden, so they can't see anything yet. So that comes back in as a gadget, shows up on our screen in the exact same spot that our other variable guy was in. And then we populate a bunch of text in him, and then we present him. So let's go ahead and just throw him up on the screen. So this is what our screen looks like. About the only thing that really works other than Scintilla and the code folding is the exit button. None of this other stuff is configured. So you can change colors. You can have lots of fun with all of that to your heart's content. So yeah, I didn't even put in expansion. Okay, so that should be visible. You can see how everything's working. Let's jump to over here. Now I left my screen up. So this is the new format of loading in keywords and call tips. So the keyword is first. So we have 1800 count. All right, so this is our first variable read, and I have 1800 examples. So we have, and they're in alphabetical order. So first field is a string that is the keyword, and then the second field is his formatting. I kind of disagree with how they did this. You could probably tweak that. It's anything you want between parentheses and double quotes. Make sure that all of your parentheses balance. So basically this is saying a cosine is returning a float given that you give it a decimal, I think. Or this is saying a cosine. You can either pass in a float or a decimal. That's probably more likely. So that's what he's trying to tell you there. And then we have a line feed. And then we have, this is all pasted together as one call tip. And then he gives you a short description. Now that short description can pretty much be any length you want, but you have to parse it with additional line feeds and make it look pretty. So that is the format of this. And you can see how we have give me a float or a decimal, and then X is that, or Y, and then Y is this. So all of the guys are in here. I think this is an older formatting of the language. I didn't reinvent the world for this. So we can pick one at random. So let's come back here and let's grab add gadget item, huh? So if I come in here and say add gadget item. Okay, see, he fired immediately on the open parent where he kicked back and said, okay, here's the first line that we gave you, and here's the second line, which is the description. See how that works? And that's one, basically, that's just one variable. So then you can type in whatever you, let's see, whatever you want to say. I crashed it. Okay, so this isn't perfect, but I have fixed many of the, over time, you'll find where I've fixed the code. I've fixed a lot of the little glitches in some of this, things that weren't errors prior when this was written, which was, I think it was version 5.7.3. It runs flawlessly with no problem. As you get later on, they have more and more checks that they've added to the code and things that are, oh my God, it's got to die for this, that, or the other. I've added in additional validations that prevent code from running and throwing errors and that kind of thing to get rid of a lot of them. You'll probably have to add some more too. This let's see, this is running in 6.2. It also runs in 6.3. So let's show what some of the other things that I've included here for y'all to play with. So I've gone ahead and grabbed my original copy of Scintilla. This is unmodified, I believe it is, off the URL that I gave you. So it does have a little Go tester that you can come out here and run against the original. Oh, hold on. Hold on. There are going to be little gotchas. Let's see. So this did that. You said file not found. What did I miss? Oh, I know what it is. I renamed those and I have to rename them back. Go. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong nowadays. Sometimes I really don't know. Alright, let's take a look. Scintilla. That's one of those words that I just hate. How about that? You know, there we go. PB Lexer isn't there. Go tester. Oh, I know where I did that. All right, hold on. Evidently, I missed a file. Look at that. All right, we can go grab that real quick. That's over in my archive. should have been right there. Oh no, it's not. I have to find it. Alright. So PB Lexer, we can try just throwing in the PB Lexer from the other one. Includes and oh, you know, paste and I don't know why that would have freaked out a second time. PB Lexer PBI, I don't see it. How about if we run U? I may have to screw with these a little bit. Okay, so here's one of the canned examples out of there that you can play with. I'll get this other one working before I release the code. I'm sure it's just something stupid I've done. So in addition to that, other Lexers I've included in some of my previous projects. I've played around building an Arduino Lexer for writing Arduino code, AutoIT commands with an AutoIT Lexer, batch writing DOS stuff, HTML, and then Markdown and Python and SQL. So you can feel free to take those as a beginning point for whatever code that you want to write, and that will definitely get you up and on your way. So I don't make any guarantees that they're 100% by any stretch. This is code that probably was written 4 years ago, so I'm sure things have changed. But anyhow, that is what I wanted to show. Oops, that's not the right one, is it? We want to go back to here. Okay, so I got a lot of code in there for you guys to go play with and to see how things work. And obviously, we'll have to track a few things. Let's see. A cosine, right? AKCOS. There we go. So you can see how this is working. You can play around with it. And that's pretty much all I wanted to give on this lecture. So thank you all very much for listening, and I hope this is what y'all were expecting. Thanks a lot.